So today is hot here in California, to say the least. 106 to 117 earlier. Now it's down to 114 down by Los Angeles. Oh, is it hot? Oh. And I left without my wipe rag for the sweat. Today's not even the heat wave. Heat wave starts tomorrow with forecasts of 100. I don't want to say it. Yes. 115 degrees. I've never been in that kind of heat. I don't even know if I can do it. Hopefully San Francisco won't do it. We'll stay cooler. Well, let's get on with what we're talking about today. And that is the multi-function intersection here on planet Earth. And this is some of the things that are headed towards our planet at about 6 billion miles an hour. Some of them are coming in faster than others, such as climate change. Let's go look at that one. So after watching and reading endless articles and papers on climate change, which disaster is going to hit the planet first? Well, to me, it's obvious. It's going to be climate change. I think in the next 2 years, it's going to be miserable. I'll tell you how hot it is today. And the strangest thing is, it's very cool back east in the U.S. And why don't I have my flippy screen up so I can see what I'm videoing? Hey, there we go. So the disasters that I think will come in this, I think I'm going to go this way. Feels like it might be a little cooler over here. So they'll come in this order, I think. It'll start off with severe climate change like we're having now. Severe flooding all over the planet. Bangladesh and India being hit the hardest. Texas is the third hardest just this month alone. So I'm going to put climate change number 1. Number 2 is the orange man himself, with the deregulation and the insistence that climate change isn't happening is a serious threat to the world. Number 3 is obviously overpopulation of the planet. This little disaster in its own is so scary, what overpopulation means. You know, there's a lot of studies showing what happens when you overpopulate any animal, anything, what happens once that happens. And there's a threshold that you pass over in overpopulation. And then, I don't even want to go there. Let's move on in the heat. Another one is fresh water supply. You know, we're quickly polluting every piece and bit of fresh water. Just these floods alone are causing havoc on our fresh water supplies throughout the U.S. here and throughout the world. When you, for example, today in Texas, a refinery for toxic chemicals blew up, and all this smoke and gunk went everywhere. Of course, the sheriff in Texas says it's just like being over a campfire. Well, that's Texas for you, you know. Even though some of these chemicals that are used are extremely toxic and are now airborne in a smoke format. Another one that's coming pretty quickly now is peak oil. What they call peak oil means that we're on the downhill side now of oil, especially conventional. We're really downhill on conventional. All the fracking wells that they're putting in here in the U.S. last no longer than 3 years. They're pretty much pumped out in the first year, and no matter what they do, they can't seem to squeeze any money out of fracking wells. Still, to this day, many are saying that fracking is going to fade away now because you just can't make money. Let's talk about world disease. You know, as we get hotter and our water more polluted, we end up with some of the most hideous diseases. Cholera, dysentery, just to mention a couple. But if society does collapse, there'll be no medical supply of vaccines or anything else. So, you know, I don't know, disease to me is right up there at the top, but I put it at number 6. And the last one that I'm just numbering now is food supply. I think food supply will be one of the last things that happens to go out because of the money situation. People will pay so much money for food, they'll pay their entire bank account if they're starving. So food will be available for some time. But as we look at the board here, you can see that this is just some of the things hurtling towards the planet. I would love to hear more of what you think is going to cause global climate disaster. It's obviously coming pretty quickly here. Tomorrow, 115 degrees. If it really does get up that high around the Bay Area, I'll make a video about it, because that will put, I think that'll be an emergency situation, and you'll be hearing a lot more than just a few sirens. Because San Francisco itself and a lot of Marin County doesn't have air conditioning. We used to not need it. So I think my point here is that when the disasters come, they're going to be miserable. It's going to be hot, flooded, windy as hell, big storms, more intense hurricanes, more tornadoes, and of course a lot more forest fires until we end up losing what few forests we have left. So a few things need to be changed. The word climate change needs to be changed to climate collapse. We are truly in a collapse of the climate. Just the wrong time to deregulate any climate change legislation. So almost all of the meteorologists and scientists throughout the world are warning us right now, change or you will be gone as a species on the planet. It's time to change our ways. And it's not our governments that are going to do it, no matter how much we want them to. It's us that have to change. Us that have to change the way you do things. Do you use plastic? Stop using it. Find another source of wrapping things up. They have some fantastic bags now that are corn starch, and you don't have to use plastic anymore, and these are biodegradable. So there's all kinds of things we can do, but sitting and doing absolutely nothing is just insane. I was talking to some friends of mine. We were talking about how in the U.S., one of our senators, Dianne Feinstein, one of the so-called left, well, back in the 60s she was left, she isn't now. Let's go read what she had to say. Yeah, that's her words, not mine. Oh well, it's time to change political parties all over the world. Corporatist parties have taken over and now think they're going to deregulate and just have at it. They don't care if a chemical plant blows up. Just tell the sheeple. It's like being under next to a campfire. No big deal. That's all you have to do. And because of the sheeple's intelligence, they'll literally believe it. But you know, that's the way things work here on this planet. Only the smart survive. Being a denier doesn't mean you're going to make it in this kind of heat. And the smoke is just thick. So one of the reasons I do this video is because over a month ago now, there was a survey taken. They questioned what people thought was the most important things on the planet to be taken care of right now. And you know that climate change wasn't even in the top 10. It means the ones that care about climate change and are concerned about it have a hell of a lot of work to do. And not even these big storms are catching people's attention. They're told over and over it's a 500-year flood. No, it's a 1,000-year flood. That means it'll never happen again. And of course, 3 or 4 months later, it happens again. Sheeple don't understand that that's manipulation. Government manipulation. I don't know what to say. So, until this weekend, when we're supposed to have 115 degrees, I appreciate all the ups and the downs and the new comments and the old comments in the last videos. Excellent. And until next time.